That was a slight misstep. What is up? It's the moment we have all been waiting for. Grandmaster Bilal versus Grandmaster Bassem Amin. These guys, it always seems to drop down or boil down to which of these two guys, right? It always seems to boil down to that, but we are in it for the chaos. So let's quickly look at this. My focus will be on this game because whoever wins this may be the winner of the entire thing. We have a 4-knight Spanish, okay. This is literally the way I used to play in the past, minus the Spanish, right? Develop everything and play these moves because you're trying to avoid funny pins and all those kinds of stuff. Takes me back. It really does take me back. Yeah, preparing d5. Oh my goodness. Okay, d5 was stopped. Castles takes. Knight jumps in. And sometimes you can get these c4 or white might just try and pile up. Like c4, b4, b5, right? Okay, queen comes in. I think that's just to create a weakness, right? Yeah. Knight jumps back. Depending on how you play, yeah, you can get access to that square again. Okay, so this is the knight game. The hoppers will be hopping, right? You know, this is sometimes why, you know, mostly when I talk about positional game, these are the kinds of positions I'm talking about. And it's sort of akin to like a boxing match, right? You are shifting weights. Again, the whole thing here is whoever controls the pawn breaks controls the game in these kinds of close positions. But it's often this kind of, when is it the right time to make the break, right? It could even be a break here, like it may even be an unlikely spot, but you're always watching the shifting of the weight of your opponent. Where is he stronger? Where is he weaker? How can I push more of his defense here? How can I release his hold here? And you are shifting your pieces, just trying to make sure that your pieces are in the right place before you strike. That's what, when I say positional chess, that's what I'm talking about, right? When there's not too much action and fighting, but then the game is so quiet, everybody's just rearranging their pieces. Just bring a rook here, move a knight here, move the king here slightly towards the center, bring the bishops in. Then when your opponent misses it, which is what sort of like you get in these hedgehog type positions, not this position but in hedgehog type positions, then you are like pawn push and the game becomes beautiful. I mean, that's what I talk about. What I mean, that's what I mean when I talk about positional games. So this is the current position. We have knight d5. I don't know. I don't think, because this would be a very nice square for white. But now the knight attacks these two pawns. The queen would be overloaded in trying to deal with them. So I don't think we are going to see this. Though it is a possible move. These grandmasters always play the moves I think they're not going to play. The point also could be, I'm also kind of like against that move is, let's just make a move like rook here for a second. Boom. It comes with so much, right? There's not much you can do. F5 is coming anyways, right? There's not much you can do to stop F5. F5 is coming anyways. Both players could actually play this, but the question is how prepared are you to actually play that move? In fact, like even if no, he could play. I don't like this move, but like the point being, for example, not even the knight back, but Knight back would be what you want to play here. This is actually quite okay because all your pawns are on light squares, all your opponent's pawns are on dark squares. So comparing the pawns, your bishop is much comparing the bishops, your bishop is much better than your opponent's bishop here. Vanele versus Samir. Let's go. Okay. Oh. Is it the same-ish or the 4? No, this 3 points. This is not a 4-point attack. There's also this idea I was thinking he was going to play, which is to kind of do this kind of gun on this side and trade off the dark squared bishops castle to the queen side, so that the power of the dark squared bishop or the influence of the dark squared bishop doesn't exist. But this is also fine. I think I have a friend who plays this. I think no, the same is actually just f3, not f4. I forget what this variation of the King's Indian defense is. Now the game can become boring if you just play takes here, because there's just going to be this and the game becomes boring from then on. Okay, queen side. He does take, but queen side steps first, which is a very good way of trying to deny that whole boring position. Knight is pinned, so you want to stop that. If you take here, you kind of open yourself up to problems. So for example, take here this and here. Crisscross applesauce can happen over there. Queen a5. Castle's king side. Okay, of course you are still afraid of the bishops somewhat. h3. This is the most unsafe king till date. Okay, I mean this is always f5. Always can happen at any point in time. He retreats the bishop basically because he doesn't want to allow his opponent to spoil his pawn structure over here. So now if bishop takes, you have bishop and you are staring down your opponent. So queen b6 hides the king. Knight jumps in. At this point you may not even retreat the bishop, though I think ideally you should. No, yeah, you don't have to retreat the bishop. Your opponent is targeting. Could have taken it though, but he just didn't. The knight also has potential here, but yeah, if you play like b4 here, knight takes, pawn takes, I think you're even okay with that. I think, though there is an entry square for your opponent's knight over here. Okay, knight jumps in, ignoring the whole shebang. Again, queen takes, bishop takes is just problematic. And then finally f5, yeah. Knight e5, and the queen steps in. Knight takes, pawn takes. There's always this knight jumping in here. You could try defending it or holding the square this way. I mean, it's going to open up. It's going to open up quite soon. Queen e3, yeah. It's going to open up quite soon. I mean, when I say it's going to open up, I mean the king side is going to open up. I don't really see pawn takes in black's future. Pawn push more likely. Knight jumps in. Give me a second. And that's if this pawn push does happen, this can be taking, but you still can't jump in. Oh no, you can't, oh no, you can. I was wondering if this was that is it. So lot to happen. Wait, what? I like to get a feel for the game by going to the beginning. It helps me remember what the game was about whenever I return back to it. So that's kind of like why we always look at. Oh boy, he made a move. Okay, bishop takes. Oh, grandmasters. Oh, we can still go for a minority attack, but it's not the way you usually expect it to be, right? Normally you have a rook on b1, but I think it's not that big of a deal now. You can still go for it, but I don't think it's that big of a deal now. It's a Carlsbad structure. Yeah. b4, a4, takes. By playing like b5 here, you split these pawns, and they are easier to deal with in the end game. So pawn push is also something you can still play here, despite how strange it looks. But I think white would be a little bit averse to playing that whole idea, purely on the basis of this bishop. If you could put a rook here, you could easily deal with the pawns, but with this bishop it makes it a little bit hard, and you would have to find another way to do it, which, I mean, it's not like it's impossible, but you get the point. Why is my guy reluctant to play e3? Oh. Bishop to f8. Bishop to f8 is going to be a stupid move if I ever see it. Bishop f8 is going to be, I mean, that's the only move, to be frank. That's literally the only move. But why would it be that bad? Again, I'm not the level of an FIDE master, but would it have been that bad to just play the idea, right? Sorry. Would it be that bad to just try and go for this? Like something like this. Would it be that bad? This pawn could pass. That's why I'm asking that question. Yeah, but we do see bishop to f8. That's, yeah, that's chess. That's just chess at a high level. A bunch of moves your coach would have told you never to play in your life. King to f2. Okay. e4, e5. We have an Italian. My favorite version of the Italian. Yes. Why, thank you. Yeah. Oftentimes you kind of wonder why this happens. It's always about outpost squares. You prefer a minor and major piece being held by a pawn, right? And also you want to use this pawn to kind of prevent your opponent from advancing with this guy as well. So though you could, for example, have played pawn takes and gone down that route, allowing the possibility of this pawn pushing forward is not something you are eager to see, right? So sometimes that's the whole thing. You want to prevent a certain pawn advance, or you want to control certain squares, but you need, or you desire, or you want your pawns to be holding those squares, because that's a much better like output or a solid position for your opponent, for your minor or major piece. Strangely, all these moves are like very clearly and easily understandable. Like, it's not complex in any way, shape, or form. I'm waiting for the complex thing that I wouldn't understand. The issue for white though is this guy. I don't think you'd want, like, you could try and trade it off that way, but What's stopping your opponent from? Okay, I mean, you still can't do that. But yeah, rook to e2 to d1, trading it with the guy here, or king to e4. No, king to e2, rook to d1, trading it off. Because right now the black rook controls the d file, so it's not a good thing, and it's not a good thing to give your opponent that much control in the position. So maybe white is expecting. I mean, g6 is what. Yeah, g6 would prompt white to play this kind of a move. That would be nice, right? Oh, but could he really be? No, I don't think he's actually going to try this. Not without some prep. Like maybe like king up before this, possibly, because yeah, the number of defenders doesn't match up. The number of defenders. Oh wait, sorry, knight there doesn't work. Sorry. Yeah, if you play takes there, your opponent takes here, so it doesn't work. Okay. Knight f3. Do we trade? Knight takes is more likely rook takes, knight jumps in. Because if knight jumps in, then wait, what am I saying? That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, but you don't want to, like, this is not what you're looking to do. You don't want to do this, so it has to be rook takes. Just watch as black just allows what I said you should do, and what I said is not so good for him. Do we just go back, or do we just like inch further forward? Like something like this. Again, if we trade, how do we make any advantage here? I don't see it. Unfortunately, we still don't see Mod Benson. Again, I'm Ghanaian, so I also want to see Ghana's games as well. Dukes or Bueks. Where's Ikoji? He's the only London lover on this. Queen's Gambit decline. Trompowski, kind of. Okay. And yeah, please don't send any challenges today. I'm just doing the commentary, which is why the title says AICC live commentary. I am not playing viewers today. I do that on Fridays, so that is the best time. If ever you want to play against me, please drop by on Fridays. I stream 10 a.m. GMT. Just come on Fridays. On Fridays, you would see that I'm actually accepting challenges. So if you spam challenges now or when I'm offline, I will not accept that. That's all you need to know for anyone trying to send me a challenge. Okay. Okay, let's go back to the Basem game. I want to see if any changes have been made. Okay, so the knight jump, then we had the knight retreat. Another, I actually mentioned this rook coming in here again. I say again because like I've said it in my head. The point is, you can even do like a starter step. What is a starter step? You could go immediately like this, but it may not be like well prepared. So you go like one square first, and after the one square, I don't know what your opponent is going to play, but then you do this so that now you have the opportunity of doing this. It's more moves, but you could understand the reasoning behind it. Not to say that this is exactly what the reason why he's playing this move, but you can kind of visualize that sort of idea. It's too slow, right? Because you see it is 1, 2, 3, 4. When you can have 1, 2, 3, right? And efficiency is very key in chess. This may be a clear indication that he wants to go this way. Wait, really? No, because that wouldn't make much sense, right? Wouldn't it make more sense if Bilal went to a light square? Because yes, I do understand that like the position is locked and everything, and when the position is locked, you can make these kinds of moves. But dark square bishop, queen, open diagonal. That may be costly. We have a draw between international master David Silva and Mulenga Prince Daniel. So no need to stress ourselves there. Oh, okay, I'm a commentator. I keep my thoughts to myself. But everybody is thinking the same thing. I don't need to say anything. Yeah. I keep my thoughts to myself. This is commentary, not my usual streams. I keep my comments to myself. Oh boy. I mean, you have to do that. I personally would do that myself. Anyway, if you don't know what's going on, that's funny. Then you're new to chess. But yeah, it's called being patriotic. That's what's happening. Okay, I have another close position here where one player has more knights than the other. Typically, it's considered better for the person who has more knights in an open position that they are doing much. They are gonna win. But then we have possible pawn breaks. The question is, when will you break the pawns? That's basically what you're going to look at here. When do we break open the pawns? Rook e8. These bishops are just looking, but this bishop in particular, this dark square bishop can become very useful in the end game. So when can we play f4? We can play f4 now, but you do have to consider like lines with this. So I think it's not a big deal. Your opponent can defend, and this is their bad bishop. They have no qualms trading it with you, right? So like takes, queen takes, pawn takes, bishop takes. Oh, and we do open this, but there's also this weak square. No, that doesn't work. I guess that's why he played rook to e8, rook a to e8, because that just prevents this whole shebang thing from happening. Actually, no, it still can, right? Maybe without the bishop move, like maybe it works without the bishop move. Okay. Otimili Maya versus Jemima. Or Jemima. However you want to pronounce the names. Still no landing systems being shown, unfortunately. We have an English. A Maroxy, okay, not Maroxy bind structure. Almost had a Maroxy bind. Takes, queen comes in, targeting the weak pawn here. We're gonna get bishop defending, creating also a threat of pawn push. Knight jumps in unafraid because pawn push, queen takes, bishop takes. It's good for white. Okay. Knight jumps back. We trade off the bishops. Huh. Do we have h4, h5 trying to open things up? No, it's too slow. h4, we could, for example, have this move. h5. Well, we know versus Kagzita Esperanca. Queen's Gambit exchange variation. Wait. More like, yeah, Queen's Gambit. Why is it that today I'm getting tutorials? You know, these are like positions I've learned or I've looked at. Yeah, bishop takes, queen takes. Carlsbad. Whoa, that is crazy. Okay. This, I'll be posting a video on my channel this week, and a similar thing happened when my opponent was attacking me, and it took a while for me to organize myself and then begin counter attacking. So it looks scary now, and definitely I would pick black in this scenario or in this position. But yeah, it's very scary because black's attack is just running through, and white has not made any significant progress, which then begins to make you think, why would you castle queen side in this position? Like, again, women candidates master 1900, far higher rating than me. FIDE, right? Like, I don't know why. Like, this is when I might see like anti-positional, that's what I'm talking about, right? Let's go back to this. Sorry. Throughout this tournament, I've been speaking about these pawn structures, right? These Carlsbad pawn structures and the ideas that flow with them. Ideally, you don't want to castle into this position. Of course, there are exceptions to every rule in chess, but you could also understand the fear factor of coming into this position. Though I still can't understand it, because like f4, if you take, I take back, right? And we are still cooking, like we are still doing things here. But it's much more dangerous to go on the queen side, you know? And we are seeing that happen. So basically, it's kind of the same as knight on f8 can't be made. And that's a nice one, right? Giving up the pawn. Takes. Because you want to open up the diagonal. The rooks are going to come in. These pawns are going to make like problems for him. For her, sorry, this is the women's section. Still trying to trade. I think it's rook. If white is able to survive this, white has done very well, but I don't expect white to easily survive this. I don't expect an easy move. Mantra, how you doing? Welcome. This is the AICC, the African Individual Chess Championships, and today's stream is basically covering it, right? So all we are looking at is the games being played by these strong African chess players. I'm doing good. Okay. This is the most optimal. You know, I was when you play the Chess Master Grandmaster Edition, it shows different forms of this. For example, the queen in front, two rooks behind, the queen in the middle and the queen at the back. And for some reason, I can't remember the explanation, this is actually what you want, not the queen at the back, which is very interesting, right? You want the queen at the back. Yeah, you want the queen in the middle. Is the optimal way of playing the rook queen, the 2 rook and queen configuration. You don't want to take it, otherwise it's checkmate, right? You just lose the game if you do that. In this position I'm talking about. So it's not a hanging pawn, it's an opportunity for his opponent to go wrong. A way out is to bring back your knight, so that the knight adds to the defenders over here, so you have 2 defenders. How would I like to continue though? We could play this, funny enough, because if takes, then we have this move, and if the king moves, we have checkmate, right? So rook to c2 is definitely something to look at. Yeah, so knight to e2 is the most expected one. It comes in with a bonus idea of like knight to d5, which is the fork. You can still go this way, like I mentioned the last time. These are all moves you can play. Again, the same point. If you think that the pawn is hanging, it's not, right? Sorry, not that. I missed something. Yeah. If queen takes, you can't take. Wait, what? That's interesting. Wait, queen can't actually take here. That's actually interesting. I was not thinking that was plausible. For me, no, the queen takes back, not the pawn. Then we definitely can't just rush and play this way. Ooh, can we finally do something like this with our bishop? Pawn push doesn't do anything to help our opponent. But this move now is not takes. And you can't play rook takes because of the exact same thing we mentioned the last time. Or to throw your opponent, you play this, they take and this. Bishop to g4 may be plausible. Bishop to g4, he does play bishop to g4, yeah. Bishop to g4, nice. Took me a while to see that. Again, you always have to wonder, can I do this? Another thing about that move is, like, I've not talked about it a little bit too much, but it's rook to b8. Kind of giving it up to your opponent there. Not so straightforward. F3, yeah, we expected F3. Takes, if you jump here immediately, I think we can still, no, we can't. No, then we can go this way. Queen takes, but that's not the issue. The issue is this. And now this move, rook to g1, is problematic because this is mate. So I am expecting takes back. Nah, this is not looking good. This is not looking good for white. I'm trying to figure out if white can survive this, but the more I look, the less safe it looks for white. Joyce versus Elizabeth Cassidy. How are we doing? Ooh. This is also a problem. So it's like, are you going to lose the rook or are you going to lose the bishop? Which one? Just pick your poison here because you are losing something for sure. Ooh, okay. I actually didn't look at that. Yeah, because now if you go knight, you aren't actually losing that. Yeah. Bishop back. Okay, wait. Let's say bishop back. Bishop takes. Ooh, knight takes a very nice move there. Ah, no, knight takes not a nice move. It's this. King takes. We begin with check. I want to play this move, but it attacks the queen and allows your opponent to hide this way. So maybe check here first. Then you can win the queen this way. That's even checkmate. So yeah, guys, I've been covering this event as it's been happening. I only missed one round, but yeah, you can always go back to the previous rounds if you want to see the moves live and everything, or if you want to see my perspective on them. They are long streams, so for sure. But if you enjoy these kinds of things, always, if you're on YouTube, leave a like. You can follow as well. If you're on Twitch, you can also subscribe as well. You can also follow. Sorry, you can subscribe on YouTube. You can follow on Twitch. I switched them out. I am monetized on Twitch, so you can sub and everything on Twitch if you want to support me monetarily as well. So let's move back to the main game, which is Bassem versus Belal, and it looks like Belal is having a nice time. Whoa, what has happened? We've had a transformation of the position. Okay, so we did mention that if knight takes, we're going to see c takes d5, because the knight in this square is going to be a problem in the future, right? F5, knight jumps into c4 like we mentioned. The rook comes in. Point is, now he wants to free his queen. The queen became very bad, having to defend both of these positions. So with this, he can attempt to free his queen a little bit. Not really, because this pawn is hanging. E takes f5, g takes f5. Now his queen infiltrates the position. Already we have a hanging pawn here, but that may not be the whole point. Yeah, Belal is looking to take this game. Yeah, it looks very good for, like, there's so many things hanging in the balance, right? Black is not freely able to make moves or to maneuver in this position. I believe in this position, white holds most of the cards, right? White does hold most of the cards. Like, none of the pawn moves seem to help. We like, with this pawn move, we begin to see why king to h2, though I'm still thinking h1 may have been better. Why we can see why this is good, because now even if the trade occurs, you've opened up another line for me to start attacking you, right? It's a very nice game by Belal so far. He seems to be controlling the game, but again, these are grandmasters, right? Even when it seems confirmed, I've seen a grandmaster hold a +7 position to a draw. So yeah, but we have 2 weak points currently. Only one of them can be defended. You can't easily. Okay, no, you can defend this, but the problem is, sorry, there are 3 weak points, right? If you defend this weak point, you enable this. Like, it's not looking good. It's not looking good for Bassem, that's for sure. Bassem is definitely struggling here. Like, how do you hold here? Like, how? Pawn push. Maybe kind of like hoping for this. Still, like, I don't see it. Okay, so there's queen to f6, which holds both weak spots. You like you might want to hold these ones because they guard the king, but then boom, passed pawn. It's he did play e4. Yeah. You still leave the choice to your opponent to make which one does he want to capture. But what ultimately would be I think it's rook takes in this position. With maybe an idea of like the bishop coming into e5. You wouldn't, I don't think it would be advisable to, no, this is even wrong still. Nah, this is not looking good at all. Actually, I haven't considered this, right? Can this just become a straightforward counter to everything? Because you can't play this, you can't play this, you can't go back. You'd have to go all the way back, for example, here. And maybe we've just counted the whole thing. It's possible. Bishop to f4. You're not winning this pawn now. Yeah, so looking at the whole idea of the rook even coming here, yeah, the pawns are lagging behind and everything, but even looking at that, you kind of don't want to just jump into capturing this guy. Oh, I get the point. You can't play pawn takes. That's the reason why the bishop moved, right? Yeah. Knight h7. Okay, now this guy is hanging. Again, we always have to watch out for these side moves. Look, I'm tempted. Let me turn on the engine. I'm really tempted to see what the engine says. It was like +1. It's salvageable. +3. Okay. +3.6. That's that is not easy. If only there was a way to bring these rooks into the game, I'd be more confident about Belal's position. But right now, he just seems to be attacking with 2 pieces, and normally that doesn't work. It's not advisable to attack with just 2 pieces. So if there's a way he can open things up and then allow other pieces into the game, that would be fine. Okay. Okay. So we'll be taking a short break. When we come back, there will definitely be moves on the board. Back in 5 to 10 minutes. Stay tuned. If you have any questions for me, you can always put them in the chat. I am always ready to answer you, unless of course it's like nationals, because that is different. And we are back. Okay, so what did we see new? Sorry. After bishop to f4, knight to h7, the queen did take the pawn. Okay, rook f7, queen g6. 3 attackers, problematic as always. Rook. This also makes it plausible for you to play this. No, actually, no, it doesn't. The queen still defends. Knight. Okay, wait, but he is very aware that this can happen. So what's the point? Oh, check. Okay, that's nice. That's nice. These guys are always tricky. So now we have d takes e4. And threats? Maybe not. Knight takes. I'm wondering if this is actually something. Once again, the knight can't move because of this. Well, for Wino, okay, she lost. I think we saw how this was going down, right? Yeah. Like I said, it's very difficult for if you have white to defend this. Okay, he takes f3. Knight to c3. Huh. And that just trapped the queen, didn't it? No, almost trapped the queen. Wait, that's it? Wait. Takes. What am I missing here? Ah, no. That can't be it. Can't be this. What's the issue? Okay, I get you can't take here because bishop can take this. Is it possible that the whole point is that your opponent can jump in here? You can't defend. So that doesn't even make any sense. Your opponent just has rook takes. What could be the reason? I'm sorry, I don't like doing this, but I'll have to use the engine to figure it out. So after he blocks, then what? Bishop holds the pawn. Ah, so what makes this slightly different is the fact that this, in this case, when the queen comes in, if takes, you have bishop takes down the line. Okay, I guess that's the point. Yeah. Oh, yeah, the game's over. Bilal defeats Bassem. I mean, now everybody expects Bassem normally to win the AICC. I think he has won like 8 times, so it's always who can beat Bassem, right? But sometimes he ends up winning. Sometimes he ends up, I think, losing once, and he still wins because he just loses once and wins the rest, and the others draw a lot more and all those kinds of things. So it's not over. There are about three more rounds. So He could be second. I mean, top three is definitely for him, I guess. But yeah, nice game by Bilal. Let's move on to the next game. Panele versus George Samir. Where did we end, or when did we leave this game? Ah, yes, this is the game with F5. Okay. He decided to save the bishop. Interesting. Okay, now he actually is intending to take. It opens up the line for attack for him. So you play pawn for share. Very understandable. Because now if pawn takes, your knight actually now has entrance into your opponent's side of the board. So you can imagine knight here, queen here, aiming for checkmate. He rejects it, queen steps in, knight jumps back, attacking. Again, he doesn't want this knight into the position. I'm going to get like some double up here and then slide here. Rook a d1, not what I was expecting. Queen to b6. Knight jumps in, still targeting this. Knight is defended by the bishop. And now the rook steps into defense. You can try and hold it like this. Oh, he went to d4. Wait a second. For argument's sake. For argument's sake. No. No, it doesn't work this night. Like, it would be nice if we had control over this square, but we don't. Like this would just be game over. But we don't have control over that square. You can only move back. You can only move back. Maybe all the way back is the best way to go. As always, you always look at opportunities, right? You could say that this is a drawn end game because it's rook and pawn, but as always, there's one side definitely has chances, right? So black definitely has a chance with this, though. With the way the board is, the way the position is, it's not likely. Because you need your rook behind the pass pawn first of all, which it's not. Your king in no way wrap around here. The rook is always going to be checking the king or preventing the king from moving forward. It's almost implausible. But there are chances. It's been raining a bit, that's why I have a cold. Forgive the sniffing. The sniffles. Okay, yeah, this is a game I mentioned that the lack of control over the file by white is problematic. So he does go king to e2, but not to trade. I mentioned trading. Oh, the idea, sorry, keep going. The idea here is to come in this way. The problem we mentioned was that leaving this square allows this pawn to form. You know what? I was completely expecting knight to e3, but it seems he wants to go e4. I mean, you could have done that long ago. I don't know. Oh, is the plan to come this way? The opponent can stop it. So what's the point? Yeah, but now knight. Knight b6. Ooh, okay. I see the problem here. But yeah, like, doesn't this give me the ability to come in here? Like, pawn push, fine. Shaping up to be drawish. Solomon Kenneth. Let's see if I recall this position. I'm forcing the line to work. Okay. Definitely fighting for something there. Is that basically what's going to happen? I mean, there's also this. Yeah. And also, like in a world where everything goes your way, that was what would happen. But this is not the kind of world we live in. So it looks scary, but there's nothing there. Oh, actually, here you can do this. You could argue that even though black is up a pawn, these split pawns may not look too good. You could argue that. James Denham already looking good for white. The ideas we're going to look at here: doubling up with the queens, targeting these squares. This queen is not really a threat, though it may seem like one. At least for now, it's not a significant threat. Okay, this game. Hey, we are still maneuvering. So similar to the Bilal and Bassem game, there's weak points, and whoever is able to take advantage of the weak points wins. Whoever controls the good pawn breaks also wins. So yeah, 2-8-2. I think I remember this attack. Aha, yeah. So knight came in check. We had the queen come in check. Pawn takes. Queen comes in. Oh. And even if you refuse to take, if you take, you lose the knight. If you refuse to take, open up your king side. If you take here. D5 is a dastardly move. Says we need to see other players on the other board. They're not that much, please. Well, they may not be that much, but the DGT boards are few. Just trying to find out if it's like a funny idea to do this. Oh no, the knight guards the square. I was trying to think about like some crazy ideas that you could play in this position. But yeah, rook to c6. I think the most obvious idea is this. Pawn takes is not that scary of a move. No new moves. Yeah, this one's heading towards a draw. Okay, nothing new here. Shay. Is he actually taunting his opponent? But it's like he wants the opponent to play this move. I don't get it. If there's a way to win this, that's basically what I'm trying to figure out. This is too slow. I don't see how this helps us in any way, shape, or form. Trying to figure out how white can continue attacking, though it doesn't seem that plausible. I'm very eager to see there's a sacrifice happening, that's why. Okay, we know this. Okay. Okay, we did eventually get pawn push. So it takes, knight jumps back, he took. Yeah, this is the best way to continue. This is next move with the idea of knight takes with check. What game is this? Wait, I know this position very well. It feels like a game I've played, but I feel like I've not actually looked at this position. Wait, what? Ah, didn't see that. Okay. I know I just went on a break, but this time it's going to be quick. 5 minutes. I'll be right back. And we're back. Sorry for the delay. There's a lot of stuff happening here, which is why. Okay. Yeah, so takes, we did say this would happen. Lava, how you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see you again. Yeah, queen check wherever the king moves. I don't know where any of these light squares. I don't know. We don't want to give your opponent another check, but there are still more checks your opponent can give. And then you take. Because you can't take en passant. Lose your queen. I'm doing very good, thanks for asking. We're almost done with round 6. A few games are nearing their conclusion. Some of them will take a bit because what am I trying to say? Because there's some play there, some of them too just want to see if they can try, even though it's a drawn position. Hope it continues. Hey, thanks. Whoa, how did we get here? Wait, isn't this all white is aiming for? Wait, is that what he's waiting for? There's no way you get here, like it's not easy. Wait, so how did we get here? Okay, so the knight came back and we repeated the position once. And it was white who continued. White was very confident in his attack. The rook infiltrates. Rook comes in. Rook blocks. Oh, he retreated backwards. So what would be the issue with this move? My point is this. If takes, you have pawn push here. Which does absolutely nothing for you. Okay. What do we do? That's why he went back queen to d1. Yeah, he noticed quite early that his attack was going nowhere. Rook h6. I don't get it. I mean, did we not have something along these lines? I mean, to keep trying for this attack, you need h5, h4, h5. He gives up the pawn. There's the pawn hanging here. You know, whenever you're attacking, you always want to try to analyze what would happen if you didn't respond to your opponent's threat. Not always, but yeah, just trying to figure out like how the game could go either ways. Nah, I don't think you'd want to do that. And if we were to sacrifice the it wouldn't make any sense. Pawn push. Your idea being if takes, then you can take back here, but this rook h4. I think the difference between rook h4 and what I mentioned was that the queen can't jump back here. But then still, how do you win? Knight is hanging. Can defend with the queen. Targeting here. If queen blocks, you don't have this though. The knight jumps in. Sorry. Yeah, if you try and sacrifice the rook, you don't get this guy because he captures with something else, and that'd rather be bad for you. The funny idea I was thinking about also doesn't work because your opponent can begin with this, then eventually you lose this. And this exactly happens. So yeah, that's kind of like why he went for that specific line. Yeah, the pawns are split. I think you still want to focus on this guy. I think takes, pawn push back. It's also an idea. Any merits to this? Still nothing. Okay, this is the board error. I was thinking that maybe they've reached time control and the board hasn't adjusted, but since they're not at time trouble, and I'm assuming that it's a board error. Wait, what? Oh, it's definitely a board error. There's no way this would actually happen on the board. If this actually happened, that'd be crazy. You know, I say that, but then something like that happened on the board. So yeah. Wait, what? Oh, this one. Okay. Attacks the queen. Queen jumps in. We got check. Okay. Okay. He didn't trade off. Okay. Wow. How did all of a sudden a position that looked like black had solved it, suddenly it's like it's more of an end game thing, because let's say the king dodges. Maybe you can even play, for example, start with this and then take here. And now you have these potential pass pawns. If you can trade into an even end game, that's just good for you. I don't think you want to try this. Sorry, shit. Actually, you would. So wait, here. Yeah, like this is just okay. So I know what's happened here. Yeah, so black has resigned, but he didn't arrange the kings on the dark squares here to make us know that they won. Yeah, so I'm assuming that Mariano has won this one as well. There's no greater temptation right now than playing this move. Wait, isn't it the position I was? Wait, so he won the pawn, retreated back. Okay, try to open something on the queen side. Why not trade first and then go this way, preventing that whole pawn push idea? Probably why. Still, like, these positions look a bit more healthy than for white. Again, white is still winning, but this allowing pawn push here may not like look strange. Belauda sad or Beluda sad. How did... Okay, this is the game. No, this is a different one. This is not the one with the knight. Okay. I now remember this position. Could we not have just started with this? Ah, I see it now. Okay. So what's the plan here now? Because I initially thought this was what we were going to get, like rook takes, and then try a similar idea. Or even take here. White should be winning here, but it's not as confirmed as like the other games that we've looked at today. Okay, wait, maybe it's this. This is the idea. But then you kind of allow trade of rooks. And this is the reason for that is to get this guy here. Yeah, because of how stacked your opponent is. Okay, maybe you can do this. I don't know. Okay, so queen takes c3 did happen in the game. I'm interested to see if he's actually going to go this way. Because I'm meant to go. Okay, yeah, okay. You are going this way. Queen is no longer in the check line. So you block the two checks here, no longer in the line to prevent you from doing this. Should the queen come back? I think that's the point, right? Nah, I don't think that's the point. Let me check something. Someone's saying something. I want to be sure if that's actually. We said South Africa and Zambia dominated the tournament. Okay. Back rank issues. Still. Okay, the checks still don't exist. Let's see. You know, sometimes the thing, what's strange is, you look at the. Okay, so what he said is not true. But anyways, a lot of the times when you watch African tournaments, like within Africa and Africa as a like within countries, when you watch tournaments of countries within Africa and then the continent as a whole, you tend to see like this cool thing of, you know, like when you watch like the FIDE World Cup, FIDE Rapid and Blitz and all those kinds of things, you can easily conclude that, oh, this guy is going to beat this guy, right? And you most likely be correct. Mostly in these African tournaments, it's not like that, right? You meet a 1900 FIDE master who loses to a 1600 rated player, and you just like, why are the ratings so skewed? Like, it makes you understand why FIDE did that whole thing of adding rating points to players, but then like you can't really predict what's going to happen. So I kind of wonder why, right? So for example, in Ghana, we do believe that most of the players are underrated because, again, a country's highest rating is kind of limited by the top rated players, right? So if a country is like 1900, the strongest player you may ever see there's going to be about 2000. You rarely get 2100, right? So is it because we don't like we are not often able to play in these big tournaments? That's kind of like why we have strange ratings. Is one of the things I've been thinking about, because some of the results were strange, to say the least. But here I'm kind of like biting my words a bit, because yeah, when you look at the rankings, the high rated players are kind of there, right? But yeah, we've seen some very strange results. Okay, so what happened before queen takes f7? Wait, didn't the movement of the king actually allow that? Oh, okay, I see it now. I see it now. Yeah. I was kind of wondering what was happening there. And then this, and then this. I have to block this way. Okay. And yeah. Pawn push in the mix. Wait, what? Oh, because if rook takes, pawn takes, king takes, you have check here and then you win the rook. That is crazy. And if you decide not to take and you move away, wherever away is, you still, yeah, this is just over. I can resign here. You dodge, you lose your rook. And this guy still persists. Yeah, you can resign here. Black can definitely, I looked at this briefly. I was like, oh wait, we are just trading everything. I didn't calculate it that deeply, but then you see this moving, you're like, no, then there's something definitely there. Then you see everything. And if I was playing, I would take my time. I'm just doing commentary, so I'm trying to quickly assess as many things that's going on, not really taking too much time as there are many games going on. But yeah. Amira, how you doing? Sorry, I'm just seeing your message. Welcome to the stream. Do appreciate you being around. Amira Razor. Yeah, you can resign here. I don't know if that's exactly what we're going to see, but it's the most probable. It is the most probable. Like, the point is, even if you win this is the issue. That's the point. So if my calculation is correct, then we play check here. King comes in this way, and then we have queen to f, rook to f. Is that about it? Yeah. So check here. Queen back. Why? You know. Mate in 14. Then I play this move and it's like plus 6. So how does mate in 14 immediately turn to plus 6? Let me just quickly check this one as well. Yeah, it's still winning, because if you take here and I come in this way, you're gonna have to make some concessions. I don't know about knight f6, but I think that white would easily see rook to f4. Shitumbo, what does Shitumbo do? I can't see. Okay. Yeah. Some of these. Nice. What happened with this game? Okay, we know this game is over. Oh, this game is also over. Unless, of course, the queen loss did not make any sense. Wait, what? Oh, I mean, come on. At this point, like, why would you do this to us? Like, let's allow this, for example. You could get pawn push here. Let's even allow this. You could do this and takes, and this is still winning, because you can never capture this pawn. So it takes. So what? Let's see here. Takes. King comes up. Let's say you come in here. You can never take this pawn. Boom. You can't do anything about this. Boom. You can never do anything about this. Takes. You can never do anything about that. And I just promote. Like, this is. You just resign at this point. Okay. The time is up. Yeah, so just resign. Yeah, I'm too beginner to see these moves. Yeah, knight f6 was actually played. And the engine is like, you have to play rook here. The threat is queen takes. Let me see. Queen takes, king here, then checkmate, right? I think if you defend, then my move. Actually, no, it wouldn't come into play here. Wait, so wait. If rook, what would it be? This game's also over. This game has not moved. Okay, this game actually has a lot more. This may be the last game to finish. Banelli versus Samir. I saw the move that the engine was recommending. I don't get the idea behind them. Like rook c1, it's not. I would think like more rook e1. I would think more rook e1, pinning the bishop. It's like rook c1, and I'm like, huh? Maybe just to prevent the rook from leaving. I still don't get it. A major focus will have to be on Banelli's game. This is the only game that seems to have like a lot of life in it. Banelli is up the exchange. In a pawn, okay. That's kind of like why the engine is supporting him a lot. Kind of hoping I would have more boards by now, but sadly, it's... Okay. Yeah, at this point, we'll just take another break, 5-10 minute break. When we come back, maybe some of the games would have concluded, because some of the games are just nearing their conclusion, just almost over. We are seeing some of the results coming in, but the game that I feel like will last a bit more is the Banelli game. Who knows, maybe he might, Samir might just resign shortly, but it's not conclusive yet. He has the material and he's building up a positional advantage as well, but it's not like written in the sun, like the written in the stars, like it's straightforward. So who knows, anything might happen. But in the meantime, if you are on Twitch, you can hop onto the YouTube, check any of my content there. And if you're on YouTube, you can just check any of that as well. Leave a comment, leave a like, and I will meet you guys very soon. did not notice that my countdown wasn't. Wait a second, let me reconfirm what's happening here. Okay, that's not. Okay, let's see what moves have been made in the Banele game. So when we left the game, where was it? Yeah, we had rook to a1 check, king goes up, king comes in check, and then we had g3. So we played rook to d8, offering a trade of rooks. He did accept the trade. Knight jumps in, attacking the queen. Queen d2, pawn is hanging. Queen steps in. The threat is to check and win the knight. And maybe knight c6, but he plays king h8. Wait, what? Sorry. Sorry. What? I was thinking the point is to play this, but then what? That move caught me by surprise. Okay, so let's say queen takes, queen check. Is it a real move in the game? Like, I suspect it isn't. Like, is this a real move in the game? Yeah, because this is clearly where he's targeting. In h6? Nah. King h6? Like, what's the plan behind king h6? If you block with the queen, he still takes the knight. So what, like h6? I mean, you get hit with this, and that's checkmate. Like, wait, what? Now, is this really what's happening on the board? Did he just blunder the game like that? Yes. To be honest, there's no way out of this. Actually, to be honest, there's no way out of it. I think this was the blunder. Queen to b2 is the blunder, because the moment you come in here with the queen, the moment wait, sorry. Yeah, because even if you go like knight here, there's check here, and that's mate, right? So you can't even go there in the first place. Yeah, queen b2 was the blunder. So wait, maybe you go this way. It's how you play the position. But then you lose the rook. Yeah. That is actually a sad way to go. That is actually a sad way to go. Like, imagine winning the game and then this happens. Like I said, this game still had more life to it, and look exactly what happened here. Because like after this knight move, where do you move your queen? Right, you would want your queen to prevent this guy from taking your rook by check, which is exactly why queen b2 was played. Prevents these two checks, but then infiltration, your dark squares are weak. So maybe pawn push, let's say king, pawn push here. There's still check here, and you are kind of stuck. Okay, now with this check, I mean, you could block with the queen, but then he takes here, maybe pawn push. It's already over. It's already over at this point. It's already over. This should be winning for white now. Yeah. And it's not even queen. It's e5. But even though you can win the knight, the fact that okay, just e5. If your opponent takes, you just win over there, and they can't do anything again. Because as you've already established, this is just not winning. Oh, he would definitely. I mean, he would definitely see it. E5 is not. Like the reason you would see e5 is you would want to play queen here, and you realize that this blocks it. So that's usually sometimes how we consider things. We have an idea, we look at how our opponent stops it, and then we ask, how do we stop the way he stops it? So it's what would happen is, it's clear that he's thinking about this move, and that if his opponent comes in here, this is checkmate. He sees this, right? But then what stops this? It's the queen coming in, and he's like, oh, okay, I can take, but is there a way I can actually stop the queen from coming in so that I can get my checkmate? And that's probably what Samir is looking at in this position. And e5 would definitely come up. Okay, he didn't play e5, but again, that's where you would start considering, and then you win the knight. But that's typically how you would calculate the position, in case you are wondering. Yeah. The problem with this line is your opponent still draws breath. Actually, now with this move, you can still go back, and then if the queen blocks, you trade off. No, trading off is actually not. Oh, because you're having only one rook. Okay. That was bad by me. Yeah, no, don't do that. Rook versus knight and bishop is not a win for a rook. This game will take some time. Might even end up in a draw. Oh, I hate seeing rook and pawn end games. Like, when you see these rook and pawn end games, you know that the game is going to last for like an hour or 2 hours more. That's the nuisance of it. And the next round is at 3. Yeah, Banelli's. I think it's very easy to miss what Banelli missed, because it came out of nowhere. I mean, to my eyes, it looks like it came out of nowhere. Okay, all the games here are concluded. There's only these games left. And they are all rook and pawn end games except one. Let's see this. Wait, he went back for check again. Oh, okay. His point is to come back this way. This and this. Actually, there's also just check here winning the bishop. So what would you do? You can't stop here to stop this check. Like, how do you stop? And if you play rook trying to stop it, you just get yourself checkmated. Wait, what? Yeah, so this is the line. I think even after this you could play this first. Yeah, you could play this first. Oh no, there's check. Is the check relevant or irrelevant? No, I think it's relevant. Queen d6. Okay. So instead of targeting to win this, he's targeting the square. Still, you can't stop any of this. That was very careless of him. Many of us would have fallen for it. Dante gave away his queen to a GM. Yeah, I think that was a wrong move. But sometimes maybe in his calculation he sees something. You know, that's the thing about like playing chess. Again, most of the people who are in the chat definitely understand that, right? But there's something about sitting in front of somebody in chess. You know, I did a shot where my mouse slipped, and instead of capturing the rook, it gave away a free rook, and I started panicking, right? Like most people in the comments were like, why did I trade my queen for the rook? I could have just... It's like they didn't look at the fact that I had 7 seconds on my clock and I was panicking, right? If you put 2 and 2 together, it makes perfect sense why somebody would make that kind of a move, right? When you take note of the emotional state and how we think about chess positions and so many things, it makes sense why somebody would not see something that he should normally see, right? Like the Nepo Magnus game 6 was crazy because you could see that Magnus had the mental capacity for that, because Nepo at the point just collapsed, right? You would say, oh, why did he miss this? Oh, like, yeah, sit down playing chess for like 6.5 hours and you will understand why you can miss that, right? So yeah, we don't expect that of them, but sometimes these things just happen. You may... I'm reading the chat right now because the positions are just a little bit still at the point. But someone is asking in the lichess chat, not my chat, that don't you think we need DGT boards in all categories so that chess is seen as well promoted? What thinkest thou? I don't know what he means by all categories. Whether he means time control categories, age categories, gender categories. I don't know if that's what he's talking about. But DGT bots are not free. That's what I would say. DGT bots are not free. So if they are willing to support their sports organization to buy more DGT bots, nobody would be against them. If you can pay for the DGT bots yourself, nobody would blame you. The DGT bots do help in promoting chess because, for example, someone like me can stream and do these shots and everything to show people what's happening in African chess. But the DGT bots are not free. I don't know if it could be that Botswana does not have a single DGT board, and these boards that we are seeing are the ones that were provided by FIDE, because Ghana, we do have DGT boards, but the amount we used to cover the 2023 African Games, I think, some were added to that number, which is why we're able to see a plethora of boards, like a huge number of boards. So I don't know if the 13 boards they are using currently are solely from FIDE or those are their own DGT. But again, I've not followed Botswana chess at all. This is my first time, even apart from me seeing AICC, me seeing it from their point of view. But anyways, yeah. But I also think we have to learn to embrace online chess. Like, people, for example, in Ghana, people are in most big events happen in Accra, in and around Accra, when it comes to chess in Ghana, right? So embracing national level, high level online tournaments would be great. I do get that there would be net issues, so playing these speed chess would be difficult, but maybe we would have to, I don't know, figure out a way to do it. We'll have to consider cheating and all those kinds of things, you know. So yeah. I'm looking at something very funny here. Let me just make a random move, right? Sorry. Yeah, something like this. Let me just make another random move. I'm coming. Takes. This is basically what I'm looking at. It's very funny. Oh wait, we did get a move. Okay. Wait. Oh no, that's just repeating lines. H4 looks trustworthy. Your opponent doesn't have any immediate moves to stress you out. That's why I'm considering H4. Wait, let's say H4. Does this actually exist? King takes, check. King up takes a check. Can we draw there? No. Yeah, but then your dark squares have become weak again, and there's no easy way to defend that. So maybe check, check. Yeah, maybe you do have a Petra here. Yeah, you do. Yeah, that'll be Perpetual, right? Yeah, that'll be Perpetual. So maybe this is available. But then what that would mean is if we play H4 and our opponent comes in this way, we'll probably have to go this way. And since we understand that that's the whole thing that's happening here, we can just try and dodge it. Then we can hide here. Then this is the idea. Highly plausible. Queen coming in here doesn't stop anything. Again, boom is checkmate. But I don't know if, let me just confirm if h4 would be the move you'd consider here. Huh. Why is it considering? Oh, it wants the queen to be on this square rather than on this square. But let's say h4. Is it a clear for a draw? If king takes a draw. Very nice motif there. So if for example you were Samir, what would you play here? Again, because I'm much lower rated than them, this is the simplest move that you would actually consider. What happened? Okay. My mouse. Okay, he gave up the e pawn to push his b pawn. So ideally, what we're going to see is a trade of rook for pawn, I guess. Pawn push, pawn push, pawn push. If you play this here, this happens. So that's not what's gonna happen. You can still go pawn push. So you can't go pawn push, sorry. You can go here. Oh no, it becomes spread out just bad. B6 was played. This happened, right? Okay, I'm being too difficult about this. The rook can hold that position. Actually, more preferred would be this. Because we can come in this way. If you push in the pawn further forward, this is what's gonna happen. We don't care about the king coming in. Told you. I'm telling you. Like, sometimes things are a little bit too complex, so they'll see the simple things, and I'm seeing the simple things because, again, I'm not at their level. So what I'm seeing is the most simple thing that will actually calculate the position. He looked at so many things, but that's like the most basic one that you look at. H3, H1 is definitely something we will consider. What I haven't looked at is this. Still clearly winning. This would really hurt Banelli. And I always say, like, sitting down winning a game for 3 to 4 hours. So almost, I started the stream an hour late, so for almost like 4 hours, and you were winning, and then one mistake like that hurts, you know? Huh? Let's get complex here. Check. Sorry. Let's get a little bit complex here. Queen f4 check. King comes up, knight jumps in this way. Takes, we check here. What is the issue? This is taking. This is not a draw in like in the previous position. This is not a draw. This is still winning. Okay, but I missed something slightly. So check. Right? Your opponent doesn't have to sit there and allow you to take. Alright, so look, okay, takes here. Yeah, and this would be a problematic one. Should we go like check, king back, this move, takes here, and we are still winning, right? No, we are not. If you play this, he's gonna bounce back with this, so check and then defend. Now we have a plan of pawn push and then check here. Nope, it's not. Like, okay, everything I'm thinking about is completely wrong. Just here? Okay. I thought it was just too simple to play this move. Ah, because if you take then this is just mate. Okay. And if, like, for example, we get like queen takes, sorry, how can this like, yeah, if we get like queen takes, then this is the issue. This checkmate. Wait. Oh, what am I doing? Trying to figure out why. Hi, Sigma Play. How you doing? Okay. Is it just this? Nah, this is not working. Why can't we just take the bishop? Check. King comes in here. Pawn push just looks crazy. Chestan, how you doing? Good to see you. Obviously. Oh, I'm missing so many simple things. Like, I considered it, I was like, oh no, the queen is just, we are just helping our opponent, but look, at this point, if Banele wins this, I won't be shocked. They are already on time control. Samir is at 3 minutes 15 seconds. He gets 30 seconds every time he moves. But I don't know how simple these lines are to calculate. You are tired. I mean, you did get a recent rush of dopamine from your opponent's blunder, but yeah. And is that an only move? Not easy. As we say in Ghana, chess is hard. This position I'm playing makes it seem like it's yeah. Pawn push, like I said, he comes in here. Target this. And even use this. You have check, use it to push the pawn. Your king can always show that your opponent's king or defend or come in this way. Boom. If I'm black, what am I thinking about here? Oh, goodness. Oh, for the love of... Oh boy. I would have to take this call. Give me a second. White isn't free in this position. That's the point. Like if the king was a bit safe, his moves are much easier to make. But a lot of things for white are hanging in the balance, and a misstep by white is just losing. That's the issue that we are seeing here. I think this would be losing, right? But no. Wait, they accepted the draw? Okay, that's good. He did see it. He did see it. And Samira has a lot to calculate. I've got what the line was. Was queen check, queen blocks, and this way. Threatening checkmate here. Your opponent comes in this way. Check again. He comes in this way. What? Is it a fortress? Okay, so is it just doing that to save time? I don't get that move. I think we have a fortress kind of position. A pairing of queens doesn't help. This is nah. Look, if this happens in the game, then they just go there. Because this back and forth, I'm not getting it. Because nothing much is changing about white's position. It's only black's position that seems to be improving. So I don't know. No, I think there's a draw. I don't see how this wins. Check. Maybe you want to come in this way. I mean, if you do go this way, you are completely locked out from this. So maybe you want to go this way. And then here begins the trial and tribulation. Give me a second. Let me. I'll be right back, guys. I'll be right back. And what did I say? What did I say? No, I saw the engine moves and I was like, there's no way. There's no way Samir sees this with the time he had. There's no way. There's no way he sees that. Yeah, and I was right. Wait. Am I wrong? Wait, did he actually see that complex thing? What did he do? Wait. Wait, what did he do? G4, that's actually interesting. Yeah, your opponent might not even take in the first place. So what would they do? Like, what would your opponent do here? He can't go back. That would be detrimental. Yeah, if you go back, that just check. Wait, so what did he do here? He took with the queen. Now he's the one offering a trade. Knight blocks. Rook takes. Queen check, right? King comes up, bishop takes. Queen takes. There's queen check. Wait, why is queen check not good? Oh, this is a difficult position. Wait, okay. So this is the last game. Wait, what? Vanilla? Wait, so wait. Let me just use the engine for a bit. I want to know where exactly. So G4 was supposed to be okay. He played the right move. Knight. Everything is correct. Oh, he blundered here. Yeah, he should have gone with the queen check. That's exactly what I was asking. He wanted to release his rook, that's why. King up. Oh! Now queen can't check, because if you check here, I can... Oh, okay, I was going to say I can block with my knight, but I can push my pawn. And that blocks it. You can't move your rook. You can't check here. You can't check here. You can't check here. Wait. Is the move we... Okay, that's actually interesting. That is the most disrespectful checkmate anyone is ever going to do to anyone. So you have to play this and not lose the rook. Oh, then take a check. Oh, come on. The bishop and the bishop and the queen are not enough to checkmate here. Oh, okay. Once this happens, that's what happens here. Guys, in the lichess chat, it's normal. Okay, we have king h6. Wait, are we going to trade knights? Because this is what's going to happen. Chess. Oh, I mean, what a well fought game. It was definitely a well fought game. Respect to both players. He had time. I'm beginning to think that some people are using engine and jumping to conclusions. Again, maybe they are much more skilled than me, but one of the things I've noticed in these social media contexts is that those who seem to understand the sport at least even slightly are less critical than those who have no idea what is going on. Aha, I like that one, right? I guess it's chess blindness. That is a much more valid take than saying simply that why is he missing this? Like, if you've played chess and you've sat at a chessboard and you've calculated for almost 4 hours, you will start missing things. Like, even when I stream, it gets to a point in time, like I could be doing well during my stream, I could be doing very well, but then all of a sudden I just start messing things. And when I start messing things, I just go, okay, I think I'm tired. Because when you start missing very simple things, like it's a clear sign that you're tired. And the funny thing is that it's the FM that says it, right? The FM in the chat goes to say they are both tired. Like, that is what you'd expect people to say. But we'll be like, how did he miss this? Why did he miss this? Have you sat down 3 hours on the board to think? It's what I've realized. Like, when I'm watching a chess live stream like chess.com or Friday or something, and then Magnus is playing and then he misses something, or any of the top players are playing and they miss something, the chat goes, how, why? It's like, did you see the complexity of that move? You know, they just get up and start saying things, you know, and the moment that happens, I know that they have no idea what is going on. It's one of the things I've noticed. Those who seem to understand the game are less critical of mistakes because they understand what goes into making a mistake, right? Yeah, but well played to all players. I get that. I like anyone saying that. I feel like the person actually understands what's going on there. I played a game against somebody. I blundered the knight. I blundered the bishop, and it was like the third game in the day. At that point I just told him that, look, just take the game. I couldn't see the board anymore. Like, you have no idea how tiredness can affect somebody's brain. So for me, anytime somebody is extremely critical about something, I'll just say they don't understand what's going on. Most people who fully understand what's going on are less critical and are more forgiving. Even in this position, for all you know, even Samir can blunder. Yeah, with how they've played recently, look, anything is possible at this point. You can't take the bishop because it's checkmate here. So I think a mistake would be bringing your king to this square. This would be a mistake. Engine doesn't punish it as hard, but yeah. Yeah, since at this point you can't check. Like now that the checks are out, or now that there are no more checks, it's like just give up. You can't even guard the checkmating square, so you just give up. So now we have resignation. Good game to both players. Good game to both players. That's not to say that everybody who is critical doesn't understand, but most often those who are harshly critical, like they just bash someone for like as though they would do better, that kind of thing. They don't give constructive criticism. Okay, that was a long 4.5 hour round. Next round begins in a few hours. This is going to be chaotic for Banele, and whoever Banele and Samir are playing. They are definitely going to play for a quick draw because they are definitely tired, and 3 hours is not enough to get them back on track. But as always, thank you guys who were around checking out the games on this channel. I really do appreciate you being here. I mean, though the chess is over there, you can still watch more chess, so you can simply hop into the YouTube, binge a few shorts, watch a few videos, leave a comment, leave a like, all the wonderful stuff, and I'll be back in 3 hours for the next round.